course that I've just recently published, my own, and it's the Emirates Golf Club, the Majlis course on the Emirates Golf Club, which is the host of the Omega Dubai Desert Classic every year on the European Tour. So you may be familiar with it. If not, check it out. Absolutely fantastic golf course that just lies outside the outskirts of Dubai. And as we get through the round, you'll be able to see a couple of shots of Dubai and the background and everything else, and I suppose get a real feel for how the players would play it each and every year as well. So what I'm going to do is just remove the ghost. So yeah, the purpose of this round really is to kind of go through building it, bits of fun I had with it, and also just I suppose from my perspective of putting the course together, what's the best way to play it or the best approach to play it. Now, just because I say it's the best way to play it doesn't mean my shots are always going to work out that way, but here's hoping. So first hole here, 462 yard par 4, dogleg left. Nice little slope there in the fairway that kind of guides any balls that start to fly a little bit down the right hand side. So we've got a wind off the left, just going to take it over the left hand or the right hand side of those trees, and that should coax that back in over the bunker.
This one's looking good.
Yeah, perfect. So in our second shot then, I'm not too sure what the pin position is here.
We have about
if it's back, I reckon we're okay. Yeah, so we kind of ignore that front bunker. Bunker on the left comes into play. And also the back of that green. You don't want to be beyond that green, or beyond that flag I should say, because you're just going to have one of those awkward, horrible chips or putts down the hill. So you certainly don't want that. So let's see, 165 up 6 feet. I guess it's been 167 into a bit of a wind. How much of it now is the next thing? Just throw a bit of loft onto it. Try and kill a bit of that. Oh, it looks good.
Beauty.
Is it though? Oh, that's a nice shot. Go on. Well, that's a way to open.
There was some skill involved there.
Nice tap in birdie.
That was well done.
Tell you one thing, even through all like the test, play tests and stuff like that for this course, first hole always gave me trouble. Like no matter what, I just could never get the ball in the right position to give myself a decent opportunity, and I just skipped the flyover. Too busy talking. But anyway, 355 yard par 4, second hole, definitely one you need to be looking at making birdie here. Not a whole pile of trouble off the tee if you decide to take driver. I mean, fair enough, the fairway itself gets a little tight in here around 300 yards, but what's the trouble? You know, it's a bit of light rough or a bit of heavy rough, and you're only about 50-60 yards away from the green, so it's nothing overly difficult, except for on pin set 2, where you've got the flag all the way over here on the right hand side. So control is definitely taken away, but I mean, realistically, you should be making birdie here every time. I'm going to say that now, I'm probably not going to make birdie, but we'll give it a go anyway. Another one just up the left hand side.
Nice drive.
Looks good. If that can just, yeah, that's perfect. See, like I was saying, it gets tight up there around 300 yards, but you know, if you're accurate enough off the tee, there's plenty space out there. 55 yards in, simple chip in there with a wedge. Don't really need to do anything with it. I probably could have taken a little bit off it, but essentially that's going to... Oh, where's the spin? Oof. Oh, didn't take into account the slope behind the flag. Yeah, I walked myself into that one for sure. Tough little green actually, especially over towards pin set 2. And definitely an awful lot of slopes that you're not really going to pay too much attention to until you've hit them, and then at that stage then it's too late. Okay, 6 yards. A little bit off the left, okay. No. What was that?
Okay, let's see what you can do with this 7-footer.
Right. Just afraid of going down the other side again. So take our punishment, walk off with par. Not the best by a long shot. Definitely, it's a birdie hole. That's definitely feeling a bit like a drop shot right now.
Third hole coming up.
So here we have the third hole, par 5, 581 yards. Realistically, unless you've got a big downwind, you're not getting here in 2. I mean, I played a test round here the other day, 15 mile an hour downwind, and I think I barely got onto the front edge in 2. So it is definitely a touch, or not a touch, a tough par 5. Best off lane short of those bunkers in 2, chip on, and rely on your putting to get the birdie for sure, because I mean it's really not on half the time. Now again, I've got a 12 mile an hour wind, so I'm expecting, if I can hit the fairway at least, that I've given myself a decent opportunity to get on in 2.
Nice, should be in the fairway.
So if we can get this in around the 300 yard mark, yeah, perfect. Now the pin is far back, so I mean, is it smart for me to have a go with it? I mean, realistically, no. But, we're having a bit of fun here, so why not? I suppose it's better to show you what can go wrong if it does go wrong. But if we do manage to make it onto that green, we've got to hope that the ball can actually slow down quick enough that it doesn't decide to roll off the back edge over here, and then we're left ourselves with a really daunting chip, really. 1, to make sure you get it up over that slope, and 2, to make sure it doesn't take off down the other side. So it's just one to pay attention to. So we've got 11 downwind. I feel like maybe if I pop it up in the air a little bit, we might get an extra couple of yards out of it. Oh, we have we? Okay, we're on the green. Yeah, that's a decent effort.
Wow,
just got to have our wits about us now with this putt, because we do not want to go too far beyond the hole here.
Gas, I'll tell you.
At least a foot or 2 beyond the hole starts to take off down the slope, so just be wary of that. I will say one thing though, out of all the par 5s in the course, it kind of is a little boring off the tee. I was there like when I was trying to get the I suppose the overall footage of it and going through everything, making sure that I'd given all the detail I possibly could to it, and I was looking at it and I was like, at the end of the day, it's just a straightforward par 5. As long as you hit the fairway, I mean, you've a pretty decent opportunity to make your birdie. Okay, reckon there, so it'll be 34 feet. Oh, break. Not bad.
That was going to be excellent.
Tidy.
I'd be lying if I said
an extra foot now that was down the bottom of the hill, but we have the birdie, so that's the important thing. And there you can start to see the Dubai in the background. We don't have much out this way. In the direction we're playing at the moment, it's very much away in towards the villas and everything else that's around the estate. So here we have the 4th hole, 191 yard par 3. Tough, such a tough green. Literally built on a slope. Everything falls from the back of the green to the front. So, especially with the angle of the green itself, everything is pretty much, you're aiming left here. Always aiming left, because what's going to happen is the minute that hits the green, you can see it there in the grid pattern, everything is just going to fall down towards the water down here. So it's just important to make sure you take that into account on the tee. Then the other thing to pay attention to as well is that it is downhill, and the minute it hits that green, it just takes off. So just be wary of your yardage as well. So we've got 191, roughly 189. It's downwind, so I mean we really need to take off a good bit here, and hopefully I'll be able to show you what I mean. Okay, we had a good strike. It's staying left of the flag, and there we go. It's a pretty decent shot, if I do say so myself. Problem is that like you'd rather be down here, below the hole for sure. Putting up that hill, last thing you want to be doing is staring. Bit of a knee knocker. About 6 foot, what's it, 7 foot knee knocker? Yeah, you don't want to be faced with that too much, so I'm gonna hope this one goes in. No, allowed way too much.
I wanted you to have that one.
Very, very similar to what I was doing earlier on. I played around in East Lake earlier on and
Let's see what you can do
absolutely just putting like Stevie Wonder. I mean, like, it was literally like I was putting in the dark, hadn't a clue. Putts were just flying past the hole here, there, and everywhere, and couldn't make any putts at all. So I finished 4 over for my round. I think it's the second over par round I've actually shot on tour clubs, and that's not me to be gloating. That's just the way it is.
Okay, let's put this in the fairway.
4 over par, and to be honest, I couldn't get mad at myself because I mean I hit fairways. I mean the shots I hit in were yards away from being perfect, and then just I couldn't putter, just couldn't get any breaks. I mean I'd hit a ball and it would go very close up towards the pin. It would kind of in around 3-4 feet. It would get in close. Next thing, it just catches a break and takes off all the way over the other side of the green.
Nice.
So this one here is the 5th hole. I skipped the flyover again. Too busy talking. So 431 yard par 4. Really, really nice one. This is probably one of my favorite holes in the course. A bit different to what we've had so far. You know, in terms of trees and so on coming into play, it's very much the palm trees. You start to get a little bit more desert again, but also Dubai itself starts to come back into view. So you've got that skyline there, which, like, if I do say so myself, looks really, really cool. Very, very accurate as well to how the course looks itself. All those skyscrapers in the background. So then you have the water here just short and right of the green. Now, to be honest, shouldn't really come into play. I mean, even off the tee, fair enough, the rough here in front might, but I haven't yet had a tee shot come up where I actually needed to worry about the ball going into the drink for sure. And then the green as well, straightforward enough. It's no bunkers protecting it. It's a good bit away from the water here, so you'd really want to hit some pretty piss poor shots to leave yourself in trouble here. So par is definitely a worse score on the table if you ask me. Anything worse than that is almost like a double bogey essentially. Okay, so 124 wind there off the right. I'm going to try, actually just going to adjust that again, maybe hold it up a little bit. Yeah, the slope did a bit of hold in there, so
looking good.
Perfect.
5-footer here, nothing too bad.
There we go, handy little putt. Like I said, nothing overly complicated. Yeah, all looks good. Just rock it in the back of the hole.
Great.
And move on.
There's your birdie. 3 under for the round.
So the next hole here, we have the 6th hole, which is a par 4, 480 yards. We're not essentially off the very back tees here. Simply because when I pushed it off the back tees originally, you might have played one of the betas and you would have seen that the 6th would have played as a par 5, and that's simply just because it went beyond the 500 yards. But when I was playing it in test mode and I suppose bringing out betas and stuff like that for the course, what I was seeing was that there was a huge amount of wind. Now, 8 miles an hour is the quietest I've seen the wind. Normally it tended to be up in the 15, 16 miles an hour into the wind, and I was just thinking, like, you almost want to be hitting 2 drivers just to get there, which I didn't think was very fair, so I've just brought it forward. So we're playing it at about 480 yards. And it's a tough green, like it's
looking good.
It's not the easiest of greens to navigate, so I felt that, just to be a little bit fair to the players who play, and the ones who actually play quite a few of my courses, I didn't want to turn around and punish them. Definitely wanted to make sure it was fair for everyone. Okay, so what you want to do here again is just everything here falls down towards the bunker. So on your approach, the best thing to do is leave it short and left. Now you do have a bit of a slope here off the right hand side, but everything falls back in towards the hole. So we've got a bit of wind here that'll help us do some coaxing. So what if we 186? Might ease off on that a bit. So go back to the 6 iron. And we just throw it a little bit back in the stance. And that should be a good result. So, come on. And starting to turn, not enough.
Solid approach. All right, 12-footer
Yeah, I
here.
thought it was a solid approach, actually. Thanks. Whatever the commentator's name is, John McCarthy or something. Can be an awful dick sometimes. But, no, I was pretty happy with that. Okay, so what if we 12 foot, break from left to right. Have we made it? Oh yeah, there we go.
Pulling off the birdie on this one.
Nice to make one of those putts again. Jesus.
Sitting at 4.
Badly needed a bit of confidence back in the putting stroke for sure.
Coming up.
So here we are on to the second par 3 of the round. So it's a 211-yard par 3. One thing I really love about this hole is the way the camera goes to the water level. It's kind of cool, and then comes up just in time for the green. So yeah, it's pretty much all carry. At least 180, 190 yards of carry across, and then to a relatively front pin position. Now, thankfully, it's actually into the wind, which makes this hole a bit easier. The last few times I played it, we were playing not into the wind, but downwind. So, I mean, the amount of times we were hitting balls into the fairway and nearly rolling back into the water, so it is quite tough. So 205 yards. Do I want to put it back in my stance or not? Go on, we will. See what happens. I reckon the 2 iron might be way too much. So the aim here again, kind of similar to the 4th hole, in that the green pretty much runs towards the water, and based on the angle we're hitting this in at, we actually just want to be over just to the right hand side of that big tree a little bit, and just kind of draw it back in off the wind. And a little bit off the slope as well.
This one's looking dialed in.
Have we hit it enough though? Oh, scraped on. Just about.
Looks like a 24-footer from here.
Oh, 24 feet, okay. So just in case you're wondering what exactly I'm doing here, I don't know if anyone uses this kind of method, but what I do just to make sure, because sometimes you get phantom breaks and stuff like that in the putting, which is really frustrating, especially when it's telling you it's straight, and next thing it just takes a massive break left or right, is just by lining the green lines with the bottom of my screen, I can tell exactly or how much break there is in it, and from there then use that to gauge how much it's breaking. Now, it doesn't always work. I mean, sometimes I get it wrong. Sometimes I get it very wrong. So it's just a case of trial and error. If I hit that too hard. Turn. Oh,
that was
just too firm.
4 feet to the hole. You can do this.
There
Great
we go.
Putt in there.
Okay, we'll take our par.
And that'll keep you at 4 under for the round.
4 under. Okay, going along nicely. Definitely struggled more on the front nine than the back nine in some of the practice plays. So nice to see that I'm actually 4 under par. So here we are onto one of the signature holes, which is the par 4 8th hole. 444 yards. Deceivingly plays uphill. Looked at plenty of images on it online. And even from like different golf vlogs and stuff like that people have put up from playing the course, and it looks like a downhill hole. You're kind of looking at it going, how in God's name is this uphill? But it's just the way it's been designed. So you would have noticed this, like if you Google the Dubai Desert Classic or the Amiga Dubai Desert Classic, this is pretty much the tee box with Dubai in the background that that's captured so much. And several players on the tour have renowned it as being one of their favorite tee shots ever, just to be able to hit into the Dubai skyline, which is pretty awesome. So it's not
Good stuff.
It's not overly difficult to prepare
And
for.
we have about, I'd say,
It's
142
142 yards, slightly uphill, protected by 5 bunkers for sure. But I mean, at the end of the day, unless you hit a pretty bad shot, you shouldn't really find yourself in them. So 142 yards. Best place here is just kind of left of this pin. That's where I find the easiest to putt from anyway. Actually, what we'll do is we'll just go with the 8 iron. Take a little off it. Come on, turn. No, I hit it a bit left. Or a bit right, I should say. Oh, short. Wow. Didn't see that one coming. I won't worry too much about it anyway. Also, for anyone who is familiar with the course, you'll recognise some white buildings from the course. Well, you'll recognise these shelters that I've put in place. These big, massive, giant white buildings they have in and around the course. There's a couple of them around. There's the clubhouse as well. Is also one of them, and it's basically like a Dubai tradition. It's where the course gets its name from. The Majlis translates as a meeting place, and so what they do is they have these like white buildings all around the course to kind of honor that tradition of like just getting together and stuff, which is I think is kind of cool. Just to kind of I suppose break into their culture and see what it's all about. But yeah, that's it there. That horrible excuse of a shelter is all I could find to replicate it. But that's what that is back there, with its kind of garden around it. So moving on to the 9th hole, and yet again skipped a flyover, and I think I skipped a pretty good one here. So the 9th and the 18th share greens. Nice big massive green. Excuse my flyover skills. And we have the big huge grandstand in the back. So yeah, it's there we go. It's a really, really fun par 4. Water in play off the tee, and on the second shot as well. Now, to be honest, you'd want to be unlucky off the tee, because it will take your Sunday best really to get down as far as that water, or just a hell of a downwind. So I'm actually thinking, just because that wind is leaning a bit forward, I'm going to go with the 3-wood off the tee. And didn't allow. Ooh, allowed for too much. Oh, that's not how you play it. Oh, if I hit driver maybe, but that is not how you play it. That's for sure. Okay, awkward bunker shot here. So we've got 160 yards. 160 yards again. Green falls from the back to the front. Ideal position here is short right and let it run up. Gotta make sure we can get it there first. Okay, so it came out as a fast. But you know what? It's still not a bad shot, though. I mean, all things considered.
Well, at least you're out of the sand.
Yeah, I suppose at least we are out of the sand. I love the optimism. Okay, so I think the best thing we can really hope for here is just to knock this one close. Yeah, we don't want to get a bit too overzealous with this and leave ourselves at a really, really dodgy par putt. So anywhere there inside 4 feet, I think I'll take that. That'll be 34 feet to pin, 4 inches up. Would I give him that enough? Oh, wow. Oh.
Okay, let's see what you can do with this 7-footer.
Really didn't fancy leaving myself one of these. Okay.
Nicely done.
we can relax. We can relax. So another thing, so we're moving on to the 10th hole, par the last 3.
Alright, let's haul off and just
I haven't been as clinical with my second shots as I'd have liked. Haven't been that good off the tee either, but yeah. So here we have the 10th hole. Bit of a change from the beta release. You'll definitely notice that if you've played where the way the members play this is pretty much it's just all fairway the whole way straight down. There's no gap of rough in between. But obviously, then getting to see some footage of the Dubai Desert Classic, I was able to see that there was actually a bit of rough there in between. So I decided to implement that. I thought it'd be a bit of fun. It's not reachable. I mean, like unless you're able to somehow give your golfer steroids and unbelievable club head speed, no one's reaching it. That's for sure. But another thing I wanted to do as well was just to try and interact more with the surroundings, bring way more of the surroundings into play. So over here we have the driving range, which is part of the Faldo course. So this is the sister course of the Majlis. So that's the driving range there. I didn't really go to too much more detail on the course, but I just wanted to have that kind of real life experience there. Like we have the other driving range. If I can get over to it, I don't think I can, but you can see it over there in the distance with all the bunkers and so on. So that's the actual driving range that plays down there along the first hole. But yeah, just wanted to include that. I know it's not really relevant to the course or anything at all, but do you know what? I don't really care. I'm going to let you know anyway. So 10th hole, par 5. It's time to get some birdies in the card
you'll
again.
Be in the short stuff here.
So again, not an overly difficult fairway to hit. Trouble on both sides though if you miss it. Bit of rough. And you also have the mulch as well. Like so I haven't. No, I actually think I've gotten away with it so far. No one's come back to me and said, "Well, what'd you put mulch there for? It's supposed to be a desert." First of all, what I wanted to do was create some separation between the bunkers. Like you can see there, the bunkers have a certain tone there, and then the mulch as well in a different corner or a different color, I should say. Oh my God, I can't talk today. But if I was to go and put all that mulch as sand, then they end up being the same texture, and I don't think it would look really nice. Secondly, when you go into a bunker, I mean, like sometimes you could be left with a 50% lie off it, and after watching load and load of footage of the actual tournament itself, I was seeing that tour pros were getting really good and decent lies out of there, like maybe 85% and up. In terms of like favorability of that actually coming out well. So I was there like, well, we need to take a look and do the research and see which one is the best. And mulch just seems to work out the best. It looks like a desert, plays like that hard desert surface. So it just made sense. But nobody has questioned it yet, which I'm surprised. Someone might though. Okay, so we've another opportunity here for an eagle. Be nice to get it, but after my little run of pars, a birdie would just be as nice. Okay, 21 feet, up 1 inch. Looking good. Yes, there we go. That's how you want to start the back nine. So moving up to 6 under now.
6 under for the round.
Definitely how you want to start. Okay, so the 11th hole, par 3. One of the toughest greens on the course, and actually pretty much all of the toughest greens I think on the course come in the back nine. Don't want to be short here. You don't want to be left here. You don't want to be right here. Long is okay, but short, left, and right just sucks. It just really, really sucks. Anything slightly offline here, you can find yourself down in this bunker, way back down here off the front of the green. If you're long and left, find yourself in that exact same situation, off the green or in that bunker. Shouldn't really find yourself too long, not in that pin position anyway. But club selection is definitely key. Green kind of falls slightly to the left, so we might just try and underplay this wind a little bit.
Hope this one
Underplayed
has
it
some
too
teeth.
much, I wonder. Ooh. Ooh, that was close. Yeah, underplayed it a little bit, and also just threw it a bit too far back in my stance. Kinda considering putting this, but I need to just go back and check what the... Do you know what? I'm half tempted. Screw it.
Holy.
Oh, what? Sure, look. Sometimes they go in, sometimes they don't.
Solid par.
We'll
Well
take
done.
it. Normally I would have putted that one now.
Okay,
That was definitely a
so
makeable putt.
that will keep you
But
at
the lie
6
wasn't that
under
bad for a chip
for the
either,
round.
so we just took that one instead.
Okay, here we go.
So here we go with another tough green. So this is a 12th hole, 470 yard long par 4, dog leg left. Water there on the right hand side. Would only really come into play if the tee shot plays into the wind, and you hit a bit of a slice there. That's the only reason why that should come into play. The bunker's back there as well. It shouldn't really come into play unless you're off the slightly forward tees. Second shot though is where the trouble starts. You bit of a false front there. Um, to be honest, you really need to get it about 2 feet onto the green first for that to actually have a chance of staying up. Okay, so 14 mile an hour wind. This is going to be a long hole. Because what was happening in our tests were players were driving the ball, like off the original tee box we were going to go with, was driving it away up to the top there with the bunkers, leaving ourselves about 150 out. At that rate then, I mean, it just became a bit of a birdie fest, and I didn't really want that to happen for this hole. I mean, this hole has a lot of potential to be one of the tougher holes in the course, and like from what I've seen in the play of it, like it is. So I just really wanted to capture that. So we went off to the very very tips and stuck it there. So like 192 out now into that wind. Like that's a killer shot. Like that's awful. Like I kind of feel bad a little bit for that now. Oh, we're going left. Oh, are we going too far left, or are we? Oh, go on, get up and see. Watch this, and it just falls back all the way down, and it hurts your soul a little bit. Now, to be fair, I didn't get it on far enough. That needed to at least be another 2 or 3 feet, just to even have a chance. Go on! Ah, close. Tap it in for the par.
Well, you could have had a birdie.
Not bad.
There.
We're still 2 under for the back nine, 6 under overall. So I think the aim is we try and get to 10. Definitely want to have a better back nine for sure. We've another par 5 coming up, and one that I really enjoy. So 13th.
This is just a number.
Yeah, I mean you can be superstitious there, as John was saying. This one is it's a risk reward hole, so I think it suits the number perfectly. It's a short tee shot to that dog leg there. I mean, you can take the tree without, take a little bit of the corner off, and leave yourself with a slightly longer second shot in, or take out the big dog, cut the corner off, but you run the risk of running out of room, and that's for sure, especially now that there's a downwind. So for anyone who has played this already or is looking at playing it and are not exactly sure where to go, right? So the one thing I did, it's just, I suppose we'll call it an Easter egg, for a better word, is the line off the tee, off the very backs, right, is over the left-hand side of the tee in front. So right over that, okay? Take it from there, and that should, it's a perfect line. Now what you want to take into account there is, now how is the wind blowing? So the wind is downwind, slightly off the left. So I'm thinking, geez, we could almost take it off this tree here. Aft it up. And that should be perfect. And there we go. It's a nice, easy way to play it.
Okay,
not everyone's going to watch this video. Not everyone's going to spot that that's the line. But yeah, like I mean, it leaves you with a 189 yards into a par 5, which, you know, in any situation you'll take hands down over being, you know, 50, 60 yards further back after taking a 3-wood off the tee. Now, danger to watch out for on the approach. I mean, with this pin, I suppose that you just want to be long enough to carry it over that ridge, or at least to, like if you landed on the front, just that there's enough forward momentum to get it up over that ridge. Anything there from there kind of falls down to the right hand side. So yeah, maybe that bunker leaking on the right hand side. You just don't want to run into that. Water, unless you really hit a bad shot. I mean, that shouldn't really come into account. Beyond the green, nothing overly difficult. Not in that pin position anyway. So where you want to play it is just up the left hand side. Now we've got, understandably, got a 12-mile-an-hour wind off the left. So just want to take it a little bit more. Got a bit of a slope there as well. So what's this playing? 192 carries the club. Okay. Oh, we've hit a fast. That's gonna leave. That's gonna be very weird now. Oh, we're not liking that. Whew. Oh, you don't want to short your side yourself here, not onto a downward slope. Oh. And just in case you're wondering, that's the 8 tee box just over there. So the 13th and the 8th run along there side by side. And there's lovely Dubai there in the background. Never been to Dubai. Definitely would love to. It's supposed to be class. A couple of friends, everything went over there. Seems like a lot of fun, but how long does it last, I wonder? Okay, so 13 yards, pin, 1 foot up, heavy rough. This is just not going to sit down. We need to be careful here. Sit. Oh. How the...
This is for birdie.
One of my puzzling questions about this game is how does a shot like that just sit down? Heavy rough. The fact that it did could be a good thing.
Oh, that was almost
in. Jesus. Wow. Oh, wow. What is that?
10-footer here.
That right there. Stevie Wonder's making a reappearance for sure. It's shocking. Right. Standing in the middle of the fairway. Definitely was thinking we had a shot at the eagle and we walk off with a pair.
That putt.
Okay, we're going to have to make that back.
Okay, so that will
a bit of a drop shot there. That kind of that's what it feels like anyway. Moving on to the 14th. Right. This was probably my favourite hole in designing. Not really sure why. I just thought it kind of threw everything at you in terms of just really nice deep bunkers in the fairways, winding dog leg. Just it brings the whole kind of environment into play. Palm trees, your trees, bunker that wraps the entire side of the green. It was just an awful lot of fun. It has so many variables to it. Side slope and fairways, downhill approaches, just and water way long. So you can just see it down there. And that's the water that we run into on the 12th hole. So handy wind here. Suits perfect for the hole. We can actually be a little bit more, or can we be a little bit more? Have we taken too much? Oh, I think we've taken too much. Get out. Go on. Skip on. No. No.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Pretty deep rough here.
Feeling it.
Not going to sugarcoat it.
But one thing I love about this course is that I've played it a couple of times now. I think the best I shot was 11 under. And I'll tell you one thing, I didn't struggle, but I obviously played it really well. But it took everything like I had just to shoot that 11 under. I mean, it wasn't the case that I could turn around and said, do you know what, actually, I left 3 or 4 birdies out there. No, I didn't. Anything that I had a chance to hold, I hold it. So there was no bettering it really. And that's one thing I just love about this course is that it's tough. You have to navigate it with precision. You have to be on point all the time.
You know, if you
start leaking a few shots in like missing fairways and stuff like that, you're going to find it really hard just to make pars here. And as you can see that by some of the greens that are already there. Oh, turn. I didn't know. I knew it about. Hit it. Yeah.
All right, a little 6-foot putt here.
Need to get better at my putting again. Just got a bit dry today, whatever's going on. Had a pretty good spell there the last couple of days. Maybe that's it. Just
solid stroke on that one.
Maybe just doesn't want me to.
And that'll keep you at 6 under for the round.
To go too nuts on it, kind of pen me back a little bit.
Coming off a par on the last
kind
one.
of moving into the home stretch here, and I'm yawning. Oh, excuse me. I shouldn't be yawning. Okay, so the 15th hole, par 3, 188 yards. Pin here is tucked over in the far left. Almost blind off the tee, actually. I think there's a tree in the way. There is. That little tree there. So 188 into the green. Slightly in there off the right hand side. Short right is where you want to pitch this anyway, just short of the flag. If you look down there, you can see everything there falls down towards the 11 tee box. So just anything there and that kind of ridge here. But obviously we've got to take that wind into account. So 11 mile per hour wind. Okay, I think that would be enough.
Looks like this is a beauty.
Oh, too much? I thought I had enough. I thought, yeah.
Okay, well, you ended up in the rough.
That number, but
sorry to get your hopes up there.
Sadly not. Okay, just need to be wary of that hill. We don't want the ball traveling down that slope too fast. Sit, 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 sit. Whew. Oh, don't roll off.
All right, 13-footer here.
Yeah, we're not making a good go of this back nine, is it? Not as much as I hoped I would, anyway. Definitely finding it a little bit tougher today. And I'm just not reading the greens right. No.
3 feet to the hole here. Solid putt in there for bogey.
Don't know what's going on. I'll have to go back to the drawing board and work on this. But oh, that's a bogey. That's awful.
Let's have a nice drive out on this one.
That's awful. Okay, well at least we're into a stretch here where birdies should be definitely on the card anyway. I'd like to walk away with a birdie finish. It's 425 yard par 4, not overly long. I mean, like that pin position is handed to you on a bloody plate. I mean, if you're a couple of yards long with your second shot, not to worry. That slope's going to bring it right back down. So this is one definitely on pin set 1 anyway. This is one that you should be birdieing. If you miss the green, well, do you know what?
Nice.
Tough titty because you missed out on a great opportunity. I just say tough titty. Jesus. Gotta stop hanging around with cousins and whatnot. But
I'd say it's about 120 yards.
So 120 yards
from here.
130 yards of wedge, so they have in my hand. But we're into a wind, which means we can afford to be a little bit stronger with this and hope that it holds in the wind. Like that. That should be perfect. And it's short. How did that come that far short? I'm actually like fair pissed at that now. I can't believe that came short. Jesus, me and my big mouths, my God. But here's hoping that rolls back down. That was a terrible chip. Oh. Making an absolute balls of this one, I'll tell you.
This 7-footer. Great putt in there.
I was worried I had a little bit too much club. Like I thought the wind wouldn't have held it up that much at all.
And that'll keep you at 5 under for the round.
But evidently it did. Moving on to the
Okay, let's
17th,
send
which
this
is
little
downwind
ball
now, I
on
think,
its
yeah.
way.
Ooh, we've a nice favourable wind here. Very, very short par 4. And again, I skipped the flyover, so you're not really going to understand. So I'm going to do a little bit of camera work here. 369 yards. Is it, like with that wind, I mean, you're talking about dropping the ball in around here for like 40-yard pitch shot, maybe 40, 50 yards, just depending on how this works out. And I just hit forward. Thank God I hit it
All right, looking
fast.
good so far.
Gotta stop at my weird animal scream from the Muppets. If you don't know what the Muppets are, look it up. Animal, the way he screams. That's just what I seem to do every time I hit a bad shot lately. But yeah, I'm sure you've heard of the Muppets. Okay, 77 yards. Oh, I'm that annoyed right now that I'm just gonna hit it. I don't even know where it's going. But yeah, the line I took off the tee would have been the right line for the driver. It's a very, very straightforward hole.
Feet out here.
As long as you're smart enough off the tee. That wind there, that kind of downwind off the left, definitely a favourable wind on this to just let it fly past the palm trees. Other than that, take the tree wood or hybrid or whatever club you have,
right,
and
but a
just bait it out left a little bit.
Almost had a birdie.
It's not
there.
that long a hole. I mean,
meant to be, I guess.
if you hit a three wood or a four wood or something like that out there,
keep you at
you're still leaving
5
yourself
under
100
for the
yards. I
round.
mean, 100 yards is scoring wedge.
Okay, let's give this ball a
Actually,
smash.
no problem at all. Okay, 13 mile an hour. We're supposed to birdie the last 3 holes, and we've parred 2 of them, so not going to plan here. Into the wind here is it's definitely going to leave us a long way back. We might be looking at 3 wood. Might even be looking at more.
Nice.
Yeah, that's a long way back. I'm going to thump one into the wind here. It's all or nothing. All or nothing.
This could be very undecent.
Yeah, I didn't hit it good.
Everyone ends up here.
Oh, that's a stinger.
Let's not make
that's
that a
just,
habit.
that's awful. Why would you do that to me? We're going to tink up special. It's going to bail out left. Oh, I can't believe I did that. That'll do. Should have done that the first time, but no. Had to be greedy. Wasn't willing to share.
Okay, let's see what you can do with his 8-footer.
Hey, how you doing, Ewan? Having a good weekend, do you? Yeah, I just sometimes you just have to crack with yourself here because it can get awful boring in front of the mic, and you just have to make things a little bit more enjoyable for yourself. But yeah, not having a good show here though. 5 under par, and definitely go 4. Ugh. There we go, that'll do.
And there's your bogey. Good putt.
But yeah, that's it really. That was just a quick round around just to kind of talk a little bit about the designing of it, how best to play it. Don't obviously follow my score of -4. Definitely wasn't one bit impressive at all. Back nine started off very, very strong with an eagle, got the 6 under, and then finished with 2 bogeys in the last 4 holes. So definitely not a strong performance there. So don't follow exactly what I did, but follow exactly what I told you to do. Because at least if you do that, then you'll definitely score well. But guys, thanks for checking in. I hope to have another course with you very soon. Working ahead on Royal County Down above in Newcastle in the north of Ireland. So that's the next ongoing project. I have a front nine done there. There's a beta out, RCD beta, if you want to check that out. It's not anywhere near being ready to go live yet. Definitely quite a bit to be done there. And then after that, then I have two other courses that have been recommended, suggested, whatever way you want to look at it, from a couple of guys in the PS4 group. So we're going to go with Breezy Bend, which is country. Can't even talk. So bad today. I wasn't even drinking yesterday, and it was Paddy's Day. Like, and I swear I was hungover or something. But Breezy Bend Country Club over in Canada. Looking forward to that one. Looks like a really, really nice course. Haven't played it, but obviously one of the guys there and a couple of his buddies and everything have, so they'll be able to be my my eyes and ears on the ground and test out my beta for me and give give feedback on it, and then let me go and improve on it. And then another one we have then as well, which I'm looking forward to, is Royal Links Golf Club, which is it's a course out in Las Vegas. So if you know Jeff in the PS4 group, Jeff used to be the PGA Pro out there a couple of years ago. And where I suppose it gets its popularity from is pretty much because each hole on the course is either designed to be a replica or like as kind of based off for inspiration of like several holes from the from British Open courses. So you've like the road hole is there, one of the par fives. I'm not too sure which one from St Andrews. The 12th hole is used as inspiration. You've got the postage stamp. So you've quite a few different courses there through in St Andrews. I think there's Carnoustie is there as well. But it's in a desert it's in a desert location, so you just try and imagine St Andrews being played on desert, and that's what's going to happen. So I'm really looking forward to that. I haven't seen any course like that anywhere else, and I haven't seen any course like that in the game itself. So really, really looking forward to that one. Oh, you were working. That sucks. I had the weekend off. It was great. Watching the rugby then yesterday was just even better. Come on, the Irish. So I know there's definitely a few sour heads this morning for that. But look, I mean, we won and we were the better team, and that's all that matters. And yeah, I'm not one bit humble about that whatsoever. But listen, go on. I'm done here for the moment. I'll probably hop back into the course designer in a couple of hours. Might do a little video on that. But thanks for tuning in. Thanks for tuning in, the support, the comments, everything, the feedback to all the beta testers, to everyone who threw in their 2 cents on the course to help me to get it to this standard. Absolutely massive thank you to you all. Really, really enjoyed doing it, and like I said, I want you to keep hounding at me and everything else for the next one on stuff to improve on. Course wasn't in the greatest shape a couple of weeks ago, not even a couple of weeks ago, about a week ago. So just a couple of the guys came in and we worked on a few things, and yeah, and I'm pretty happy with it right now. So keep that coming, guys, and thanks for checking out the video. Have a good day. Bye bye.